Good evening, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to another episode of Critique Corner with me, Daniel Parker.
And me, DB Fastbinder, coming at you from a remote location. So you may notice my microphone being a little lower quality than normal, and you might also hear a loud yowly cat in the background at some point. So apologies all around.
Yes. Well, we'll be professional and work around it, I guess. But if you are returning, welcome back. If you're new, what we do here is we critique stuff, usually movies, occasional TV shows. We usually do something new or contemporary, and then pair it off with something older or classic, and then one or both of us will have something solo that we've been consuming during the week that we'll talk about. And starting us off this week, we're going to be talking about Antz.
Antz, or the pre-B movie.
Yes. Yeah, the anti B, the pre B movie and the anti Bugs Life movie.
Right. My understanding of what happened here is that Jeffrey Katzenberg left Disney as a movie that was originally called Army Ants. Was in development over at Disney, and he took the idea over to DreamWorks when he joined them.
Yes, yeah, and I think this came out a month before Bugs Life or after Bugs Life.
Yeah, it was like October for this one and November for Bugs Life.
Okay, yeah, yes, because Katzenberg was let's just say a very salty ex-Disney employee.
I mean, Lord Farquaad was basically supposed to be Eisner.
Yeah. Yeah, so Antz is the story of Z, who is voiced by Woody Allen.
Oh, jeez.
What Woody? And Z is as DB pointed out, like with Jerry Seinfeld's character in the B movie. Z doesn't like to go along. It kind of likes to march to the beat of his own drummer, and doesn't necessarily like the strict orderly world of the ants. And he's a worker ant. So there's like two different classes of ants. You got the worker ants like Z, and then you got the army or warrior ants, and they're big and buff. And Z's soldier ant buddy is his name is Weaver, and he's voiced by Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, and I think he was having a good time with this one. He just sounded very happy.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Let's see. So before we get into the plot, so just kind of a general overview. This thing has an interesting place in history, even outside of the feud with Disney. It was DreamWorks' first theatrically released CGI movie. Prince of Egypt had come out earlier in the year, I believe. When did that? No, December. Never mind. It came out in December. So
okay.
So this might have been DreamWorks' first.
Yeah, because Shrek was
animation movie.
Yeah, because Shrek was what 2000, 2001.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Film. Complete list of DreamWorks pictures. So the animation, I was horrifying.
Yeah, and dated.
But if you look at it from the perspective of 1998, it's actually pretty impressive because they do try for things like, like they'll have a whole battalion worth of bees. Bees. I'm so used to talking as the bee movie. Ants, gripping together to make a giant wrecking ball, where you'll have hundreds of ants on the screen at the same time marching in formation.
Yeah.
You'll have pretty convincing fight scenes between them and giant termites.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, yeah, for the time, it was really good. Animation. Although at times it kind of reminded me of oh god, what was that really bad animated movie that came out?
Are you talking about Food Fight?
No, not Food Fight. Uh, Conan O'Brien would show clips of it on his show from time
Was
to
it was it Delgo?
Elgo. Yes, that's what it was. Yeah,
Oof. N- Now, what I will say is, for the technology of the time, again, it doesn't look bad, and the characters, you can tell what they're thinking. They, but by and large, and it's a pretty decently realized environment they're in.
yeah,
So that's a big caveat there. Um, if you show this, and I would also say this is interesting because it is a plot that you could turn into a whole fantasy novel series if you wanted to.
yeah,
Because it is the basic outline is that Gene Hackman is playing the general of the Ant Army, and he is going to forcibly marry the princess of the colony, get rid of her mother, and have a coup d'état because he thinks all the worker ants are worthless and beneath him. And the only thing that gets in his way is Z happens to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
yeah. Yes, yeah. So, and how that works is Z meets the princess. Well, she's basically slumming it with the worker ants, and he falls head over heels in love, and he wants to see her again, so he swaps places with Weaver, and of course nobody questions the fact that this little worker ant is amongst all these big soldiers, and just like
Right, looks totally out of place.
totally, yeah, he looks totally out of place. But the only reason he does that is because they're having this big ceremony, and he wants to see the princess, but it doesn't work out that way, and then he ends up in like in Futurama, war were declared.
Yep. Okay. So I took a second to do a little bit of research. Can confirm this was their first all CGI movie,
Okay,
and first all animated movie, as far as I can tell. Now,
okay.
in 90, they were actually kind of busy in 97, 98 because they had The Peacemaker, Amistad, Mouse Hunt, which I believe had a CGI mouse,
Yes,
Polly, which I know I saw that one in theaters. That's one with the parrot, I think.
I think
Yeah,
that's yeah.
that probably had some CGI. Deep Impact, which means that they had the other famous released at the same time uh, movie
Asteroid, yeah,
along
asteroid movie, yeah,
along with Armageddon. So they had basically the same thing happen twice in 1 year, where they had a suspiciously similar movie come out,
yeah. And I believe
and Small Soldiers.
Small Soldier. Oh, I remember that movie. Yeah.
I never actually saw that one.
It was okay. It was directed by Joe Dante, who also did Gremlins, and it kind of
Okay,
had the kind of the same feel as Gremlins.
okay.
Yeah.
And then Saving Private Ryan and Prince of
Yes.
Egypt.
Yeah.
So like there were some misses in there, but they definitely came out ambitiously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Saving Private Ryan is still considered one of, if not the greatest war movie ever made. So,
Right. I've even heard like non-religious people who love the Prince of Egypt just for the production values.
yeah, oh, yeah. And hey, Ninja, good to see you.
Hey, man.
Um,
But
but
anyhow,
yeah,
I only bring that up because again, like if you just drop this movie in front of somebody and don't tell them when it was made, they might go, "Oh, what is this? Some sort of cheap Bollywood CGI film like that Super Cloud movie?"
yeah,
Which is a fever dream in and of itself, and maybe we'll review that at some point. But
yeah.
in the U.S., they had a character who kind of looked like the woman from Brave.
Oh, Merida.
Yeah, it was called like Mara the Brave or something, where they pretended she was the main character. You know the classic Walmart $5 DVD bin strategy.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh God, what was that? Asylum
Yes, basically the
movies.
asylum strategy.
Yeah,
Pretend to be the movie that uh, pretend to be a different movie. It's like in nature how one insect will adapt the coloration of another to fool their predators.
yes.
But anyways, speaking of insects, back on the topic of ants.
Yes.
So Z goes out there with the rest of the army, and by the way, one of the more amusing subplots is that Stallone's soldier ant character is very much smitten with the worker ant girls, which does bring up an interesting point that much like in B movie, and frankly a lot of media about ants, Bugs Life did this too. You have a couple of choices you can make. You can either break the logic of ants, or you can have to explain why your entire cast is women except for a few drones.
Yeah.
Unlike this one, they did not feel the need to point out that everyone was super related, which is, a plus.
Yeah. And there was no weird, creepy relationship between the insect and a human.
Or for that matter, there weren't constant references to interspecies insect romance.
Yeah.
Everyone just stuck to their own kind here outside of some social situations.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Zeke goes off to war, leaving Stallone's ant character pretending to be a worker. And they have a really almost Saving Private Ryan-ish fight scene.
Yeah. That was a pretty intense little battle scene they had there.
And so he gets back. He's the only survivor because he happened to fall down a hole. And it was just mutually assured destruction because they got the termite queen. And this whole thing, by the way, we forgot to mention, was a feint by the, or was it? It was basically a King David plot by the evil general, played by Gene Hackman, to eliminate all of the super loyalists to the queen.
Yeah. Yes, and Z comes back, and he's a hero, but then he goes before the queen and sees the princess, and things go really wrong when he's like, "Oh yeah, we met the other night at the bar," and like, "Wait, what were you doing at the bar, princess?" And then
why is a worker here pretending to be a war hero? He's a worker.
Yeah.
And so they end up going down the chute outside, like the garbage chute.
Yeah.
And one of the cooler sequences in the movie, which I want to say was in the trailers, they had a kid with a magnifying glass burn the soldiers that were sent to track them down.
Oh yeah. And they and then the one they're shining on the one ant, and they're like, "No, get out of there!"
And then, so basically from there, they go find this place called Insectopia. We didn't mention this earlier, but there was a scene where there was a crazed soldier ant with PTSD who was talking about Insectopia. Go turn left at the monolith, and
yeah. And
which it turns out Insectopia is a picnic / garbage dump.
Yes. And it's not a Prince and the Pauper type story, Ninja. It's what would you call it?
It's like a false identity thing.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Prince. It's almost like an Aladdin and Jasmine situation.
Yeah.
Actually, it almost is exactly now that I think about it, because first they meet, with them being each other for real, and then he gets this fake identity.
Yeah.
And then he's found out.
Yeah, and so then they're out, and then they go to Insectopia, although they encounter a few calamities along the way, and they made a hornet couple who are very odd people,
very hoity-toity.
Yes.
Very well. Actually, oh god, I just realized they're wasps. White Anglo-Saxon Protestants.
Oh, okay.
That's the joke.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
The husband is Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, okay.
But it's so funny. Just like the wife wants to help them out, and he's like, "No, don't look at them. Don't look at the pores."
Yeah.
Gosh, you always have to have some project or crusade.
Yeah. Oh, and Jane Curtin was the wife.
Okay.
Okay.
This movie has a pretty good cast.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Yeah, and like Anne Bancroft was the voice of the Queen. Most people remember her as Mrs. Robinson from The Graduate.
Okay.
And she was married to Mel Brooks.
Well, here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. You did a fine job as the Queen in this movie, even though it was a
Yes.
relatively small part.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily feel the need. I think we can all figure out that good is going to triumph in the end. Like
Yes.
the Mad General's evil scheme to wipe out the weak worker ants is not going to go through.
Right. Yeah.
However, what I will say is that if you compare this to B movie, outside of a technical aspect, this beats it by a country mile.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. The story is much better. Yeah.
And also, Woody Allen, like there are only a couple of things where I can maybe see, okay, that might have been an improv by him, but like he doesn't weigh it down with joke, bad joke, bad joke, bad joke, bad joke, bad joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, some of the jokes from B movie that I thought were funny were kind of stolen from this, like the force field around, like the bit where in B movie where he's trying to fly through the window. Oh, it's a force field, and again, maybe this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of taken from like where you have him trying to chew through the wrapping around a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
There appears to be some sort of force field around this.
Yeah.
But it also has things like the Queen is a character in your social colony.
Yeah.
There's no human romance.
Yeah, and or interspecies romance.
Right. So it's just overall the better movie. And it's so weird that DreamWorks basically made the same movie twice. Jewish stand-up comedian turned star plays a social insect who is out of place with his colony. That's just so weird.
Yeah, it's I wonder why they did that. I guess they just figured that it worked once. Well, do it again.
Yeah, like this thing was reasonably popular. It looks like it probably looks like it probably roughly broke even in theaters, which means that thanks to home video, TV, Netflix rentals, and things like that, it's probably been a solid moneymaker for them over time.
Yeah,
which is not bad for your first production in a cutting edge animation segment.
no, that's really good. Yeah. Although I will say, if you ask most people which movie they remember most, this one or Bug's Life, they'll probably say Bug's Life.
Well, that's because Bug's Life had the unfair advantage of ripping off the Magnificent Seven/Seven Samurai.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Beat for beat for beat.
Yeah.
I think that Bug's Life, from my memory and a couple of clips I looked up, does also just have technically superior animation.
Yeah.
I don't think that's at all surprising because I don't think DreamWorks isn't usually the ones ahead technologically. They're usually the scrappy underdogs having to make things happen on a tighter budget.
Yeah. Yeah, having movies like like the Kung Fu Panda franchise and the Shrek movies and Puss in Boots.
Yep. I think the best line in the movie, like they actually did a very good job of setting up why Z is kind of unhappy with his lot in life. He's sitting down with the psychiatrist, which it does feel like a very Woody Allen scene, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he's basically talking about how, I was the middle child in a family of 5 million. She never had any time for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I just feel so insignificant. Z, you've made a big breakthrough. I have. Yes, you are insignificant.
Yeah.
Which just sets the whole tone for the movie just perfectly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 But I would recommend this movie. Although I would say if you're gonna watch it with your kids, or I don't know if this is a movie that you could probably you turn on with your kids and leave it, because there are some adult moments and
the word erotic or the phrase erotic fantasies does occur at one point,
Yeah,
although it's
and
said
they're
very sarcastically. So I think it
yeah,
might
yeah,
fly over your kid's head.
yeah. And there are some kind of naughty words, it's kind of a
So
couple of bad words here and there.
some naughty words. There is that war scene with the fighting the termites, and an overall dark plot about that basically amounts to genocide.
Yeah.
So I would say like maybe 10 is where you'd be comfortable having the kids watch the movie.
Yeah.
And if you already have them watching Star Wars Clone Wars, this isn't too far above that in terms of adult content.
Yeah.
At least in terms of violent content, I should say.
Yeah, I would say that's true. Yeah.
Also, this only came out 3 years after Toy Story, so that's pretty impressive.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of impressive animation, so somebody caught up with me.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I watched The Day the Earth Blew Up, which is now on HBO Max.
Wait, that came out in March? Huh, my sense of time is just totally messed up. For some reason, I had it in my head that I saw it last fall.
Yeah, I could have sworn it came out last year. Yeah, but no, wow, time flies. But yeah. So I decided to take this movie in because I've been meaning to watch it, and after DB's review of it, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll definitely need to give it a try. And yeah, it's a fun Looney Tunes based cartoon, especially. I always like the pairing with Daffy Duck and Porky Pig, because they're able to play off each other really well. Where Daffy is kind of it's sort of like Big Trouble in Little China with like Kurt Russell's character and the other, I can't remember the other character, but like technically the guy who's technically the sidekick, but he's more competent than Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
You kind of have the same thing here with Daffy and Porky, where like Daffy's supposed to be like the hero or the main guy, but Porky's more competent with stuff than Daffy.
I think it is. We talked about last week how 90s comedy was built on two idiots plots.
Yeah.
This isn't quite the same. It's like adjacent to it, where Daffy is like you always have the one who's a bit smarter and the other one who's just really wacky.
Yeah. Yeah, and Daffy's really like this version of Daffy's more like the old Daffy from like the black and white, cartoons where he's
Right,
like the silence is full. Woohoo!
right. This is the Bob Clampett era Daffy.
Yeah. But yeah, so like it's got a little origin story with where like Daffy and Porky are adopted by Farmer Jim, and yeah, Farmer Jim looks like a character out of a Ren and Stimpy, and then of course Farmer Jim just goes away, and so Daffy and Porky have to maintain their house, but then alien spaceship crashes into the roof, and there's this goo that takes people over, and they put it in the chewing gum and turns them all into mindless zombies, and of course you have the whole plot line where like Daffy and Porky go to work at the gum factory, because they need to get money to fix their roof, and then that's when Porky meets what was her name?
What was her name? It's
Petunia.
Petunia sounds right, but we'll find out.
But yeah, it's basically Porky's love interest, and she's a scientist who makes all the she's trying to create the perfect chewing gum flavor. Yeah, Petunia Pig.
Oh, so this is kind of encouraging. The movie was still kind of a big bomb and went under the radar, but its
Yeah.
total box office was 15.1 million on a budget of 15 million, which means it lost money, but it didn't lose like a catastrophic amount of money for whatever or for whoever picked it up. So
Yeah. It was Catch-Up Entertainment.
right, like they bought the distribution rights.
Yeah,
And
and
then it ended up back on Max. So I don't know if they had a pre-existing contract or if Ketchup sold it to them to try to recoup some of their investment.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there must have been some deal in there somewhere. I think they did. I think Warner Brothers did something similar for them with Coyote versus Acme, because I've been hearing rumors that they're getting ready to release that.
It'll be so interesting if Tom from Midnight's Edge's insiders are right that the movie was just kind of flawed and that's why they put it aside.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but this movie, it's a really funny movie. I like the parodies that they did. I mean, it's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, John Carpenter's The Thing, and then they did like Night of the Living Dead, and then capped it off with Armageddon in the climax. Um, but
Yeah, this is a wild movie.
It is, yeah, yeah, and but all the while, you do have the kind of the relationship dynamic and conflict between like Daffy and Porky, where like Porky thinks Daffy's always screwing everything up, which let's be honest, he usually does, um, and then of course Daffy getting mad at Porky for not trusting him or believing in him, and which I'd like that part of it, and then they do eventually reconcile, and they just start crying their eyes out, and which shorts out the prison that they're in.
Classic cartoon logic.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it also made me miss the days of like 2D animation like this, and having movies with familiar characters like this, and that's fun, that's fun and wholesome entertainment.
Yeah, you know what? An interesting thing that was pointed out after the fact by someone, I forget who, isn't it interesting that they used this version of the characters who are going to become public domain first?
Yeah.
So it's like they wanted to get one last squeeze out of the Bob Clampett era, uh, Porky and Daffy.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's well, gotta
It was a
gotta
good
get your
squeeze.
money's worth. Yeah, good squeeze. Yeah. um but yeah, definitely recommend it. Yeah.
Yep. And if you want a further breakdown of the story, you can look up my old review from when I saw it in the theaters and beg people to go watch it.
Yeah. I'll try to remember to put a card in there somewhere in the video with that review.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we have our main movie of the night, which I don't know if I would have chosen Now You See Me if I had noticed it was an Alex Kurtzman joint.
Yeah. Well, yeah, well, it is what it is.
The style became evident rather quickly, I shall say.
Yes, it did. Yeah. To be fair, he wasn't involved in the writing or directing. He was just a producer on it. But I mean, this is definitely his wheelhouse.
What he likes in movies.
Yeah.
So this is a movie series that I have heard about and I have had people recommend, and it occurs to me that I had never heard anybody actually describe the plot of it before.
Yeah, I hadn't either. Even and I remember seeing the marketing for this movie when it came out back in 2013, and I still couldn't figure out what it was all about.
Right. It's like, you know how sometimes you see a trailer for something or you hear about a movie and you kind of concoct your own idea of what the movie was about.
Yeah.
I kind of had done the same thing, and the most recent trailer seems like it might be a bit more like what I was imagining originally.
Yeah.
Um, so the impression I'd always gotten was that it was basically Ocean's 11 with a bunch of stage magicians,
Mm.
when really it's the Da Vinci Code with a bunch of stage magicians.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, because there's like a secret society um, that's behind everything.
And might be one of my situations where I'm being a little bit nitpicky and comparing it against the movie in my head. By the way, we're going to go full spoilers here because I don't think either of us really recommend this experience.
No, definitely not.
Um, and so, like with Ants, where I decided not to talk about how the ending happened, just in case, hey, I think it's a worthwhile movie to watch.
Yeah.
This one's just like, now we're going to have a little bit of fun ripping into it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Um, yeah.
Anyway,
So yeah,
I can tell you that I think the biggest betrayal and bit of stupidity in this movie was when you started having stunts and tricks that were just CGI. Like there was no way you could possibly make it happen without actual magic or movie fakery.
yeah, yeah. That yeah, yeah. Uh, but uh, but yeah. So this movie centers on four magicians who are all brought together by some unknown, unseen person or persons. You've got Daniel Atlas, who's played by Jesse Eisenberg, and he's kind of like a Chris Angel slash David Copperfield type guy. Um, and then you've got Elsa Fisher's character, Henley, who used to be his assistant, but now she's doing her own thing. And then you got Woody Harrelson's character, Merritt McKinney, and he's a hypnotist. And right off the bat, when I was watching this movie, seeing him do these hypnosis tricks, immediately I'm just like, that's not how hypnosis works.
No, he's basically doing mind freaks, all the Professor Xavier from the X-Men or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's like no, like yeah.
This is not how that works.
No, no. And last but not least, you got Jack Wilder, played by Dave Franco, and he's kind of like an amateur like magician slash like pickpocket.
Yeah, he kind of acts as the muscle for the group.
Yeah, yeah, and so they're all brought together in this apartment in New York, and they have to, and then like I think like 1 year passes, and they have this stage show that they're doing, and then the first night is at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, and for their big last act, they rob a bank in France. And they go through the whole trick, but then they show them kind of doing the trick, but then they realize, but then it's revealed that the bank was actually robbed, that it wasn't an illusion or anything. And so then they're all arrested by the FBI, and they're trying to figure out what happened and how they pulled it off, and it's just back and forth stuff. And you got the FBI agent, played by Mark Ruffalo, Dylan Rhodes, and then you also have the Interpol agent. I can't remember. Oh yeah, Amala, played by Melanie Laurent.
Alma Dre.
Alma. Thank you. Who I saw her. I remember seeing her in. Oh god, that Ryan Reynolds Michael Bay movie. I can't remember what it was called. It was on Netflix. And she was also in Inglourious Bastards.
She might be the only likable character in the movie.
Yes, yeah. and you also have they have a wealthy benefactor. The four magicians, they call themselves the Four Horsemen, and they got a wealthy benefactor named Arthur Tressler, played by Sir Michael Caine, who's let's be honest, he's wasted in this movie.
He's in it for like all of 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then also too, you've got Morgan Freeman's character Thaddeus Bradley, who think I think he was inspired by another magician named James Randi, or the Amazing Randi. He was a magician who would expose like people who pretended to be psychics and clairvoyants, and
kind of a Penn and Teller type thing too.
Yeah. He famously had a blank check that he kept in his jacket for $100,000, and he would give it to and he said, I will, give it to anybody who could prove to him that they actually had, like, superpowers or whatever. And he never, of course, unsurprisingly, he never gave it out to anybody.
What do you know?
What do you know? But yeah, so he's like, Thaddeus is kind of working with the FBI to help them figure out how they're doing all these tricks, and so they're doing it. So basically, the Four Horsemen are doing all of these different shows and basically stealing money and giving it away to people. They're kind of acting like Robin Hood, robbing from the rich and giving to the poor.
So the thing I think is the most shocking to me in this movie is you would expect to follow the four magicians, but I guess since they're kind of the antagonists, question mark, or they're trying to keep them mysterious, it's really more about Mark Ruffalo's FBI agent and the Interpol agent he's working with.
Yeah. Yeah, because you really don't get a whole lot of backstory with any of the other characters, especially Dave Franco's character. You really don't know anything about him.
Right. And with the rest of them, you kind of know a few surface level things, but
yeah. But yeah, it's, this movie's trying to be more clever than it really is, which is, I guess, another staple of an Alex Kurtzman production.
Yeah, like it's very slick. It keeps things going. It tries to give you head fakes. It'll do stunts where it pretends characters are dead, or
yeah,
like you know that it's a trick. I think, okay, so I think a story about this, about magicians and illusionists, can be tricky to set up because you have to be able to believe in the trick, but you also have to be set it up well enough that you can be subverted, but it also has to make sense. It's like a mystery. It's like a mystery plot with like a lot more spectacle.
Yeah.
Around each individual part of the mystery.
Yeah. And Ninja, why would I want to follow Lex Zuckerberg's magical heists?
It would be better than following around Mark Ruffalo's kind of jerkwad FBI agent.
Yeah. Yeah, he is a real jerk. Man. Yeah, how the Interpol agent even tolerated being around him, I don't.
Much less jumped into bed with him.
Yeah, well, some women like guys like that. No judgment. I'm just saying.
You're true.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
Although I think the funny thing to me that now that I think about it is that, man, remember when Mark Ruffalo used to be when people used to actually really like Mark Ruffalo? Like, I remember when the Avengers came out and everyone was just like really happy with his version of the Hulk.
Oh yeah, and there were a lot of people that wanted a Hulk movie with him after they came out.
But Marvel was never willing to split the proceeds with Universal.
Yeah. But yeah, he really fell off pretty quickly. Well, his public persona may have had something to do with that.
Maybe just a bit. But don't worry, Pedro Pascal has taken up that mantle now
Yes, yes.
of being the guy of that nature who everybody is tired of.
Yeah.
Although he's kind of sped run everybody being sick of him much faster.
Oh yeah, it didn't take long. Yeah, he became the Nickelback of Hollywood actors.
Oof. But so back to this movie.
Yes.
I feel like the plot isn't actually really worth discussing because it feels like a mystery where the author actually, it's like in the movie in the second Knives Out movie, which I haven't seen, but I have heard multiple people complain about this, where and I'm going to spoil that movie because I don't care about that movie.
Okay.
Where it turns out that a character was their twin sister the whole time, but they had intentionally left things out that would have let you realize this. So like they showed the same shots and she was there the second time. It's like the movie just outright lied to you.
What can you expect from Rian Johnson?
He's so clever, man. Just so very clever.
Yeah.
But he didn't do that in the first Knives Out, to the best of my knowledge. So
okay.
But the reason I bring that up is that it feels like that level of why do I care about anything that's going on? You're just going to use pseudo magical BS to cover it up, because they do play around with the idea that the Interpol agent firmly believes in magic and is like part of some sort of secret society.
Yeah.
So we go from all that does is really just disincentivizes me from trying to figure out what the trick is, because I'm just going to go, oh, it's just CGI and magic, or an actual magic. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just and the final twist in the movie was just kind of like, okay.
They had this whole storyline throughout the movie where there was some famous magician who had died mysteriously, or not died mysteriously, died in the middle of a failed trick.
Yeah. He put himself in a safe and dropped in the what was it, the East River, or
some river.
It was one of the rivers in New York, or the Hudson, one of them. And the trick failed, and because the steel company, it was bad steel and it warped when it was in the water. And then the insurance company for the magician wouldn't pay out the life insurance policy, and then the whole reason it was done was because Morgan Freeman's character exposed the magician's tricks, and we come to find out at the end of the movie that magician's son is Mark Ruffalo's character, and he set all of it up to get revenge and get these 4 magicians into his little magician club.
Yep.
Yeah. And they did this whole thing at the, in the beginning of the movie, you see a guy watching the 4 magicians wearing a hoodie, the same blue hoodie, and that's Mark Ruffalo. And they show at the end where it's him. And it's like, oh, okay.
Cool.
Great. Yeah.
Now, positives there. Woody Harrelson manages to cram a lot of charm into the few lines he's given. I feel like he's criminally underused in this movie.
Yeah, I would say between him and Michael Caine, and I would say even Morgan Freeman, I mean, they're all like criminally underused.
Yeah, Morgan gets the most screen time and attention, but it's like he feels the least wasted, but he's still wasted.
Yeah.
And what's sad is, like, this is not a bad cast of actors at all. Like, I can riff on Ruffalo a bit, but the man can be charming when he wants to be.
Yeah. Although I will say I can't stand Jesse Eisenberg.
I think Yeah, I have not ever seen The Social Network, but he is basically the exact same character as. Actually, he's a less goofy version of his Lex Luthor from Man of Steel,
Yeah,
or from the from the Snyderverse. Um, but I think his style could have definitely worked for a jerkwad magician. Like,
yeah,
because like you have all the templates there, they just wasted it on a story that didn't need to be told.
yeah, yeah,
Because like I said earlier, I kind of compared this to the movie in my head, and it's just a crying shame because this movie in my head sounds so much more interesting. Because I'd always assumed, oh, it's a group of magicians who are like doing a heist, and they even had elements of this in the story where
yeah,
where Michael Kine's character is a crooked insurance broker who had ripped off people, and so they managed to invite all the people who he had ripped off and to one showing
yeah,
and redistributed his checking account to them through quote unquote magic.
yeah, yeah. That was the one in New Orleans, and they were all Hurricane Katrina victims. Yeah,
Right, I'd forgotten about that.
yeah,
But so like you could have had that be the focus point of the movie, have him or have the our four main characters working together to pull off a okay, and it wouldn't be entirely realistic to have everything be practical magic. I get that, but
yeah,
have it so that in principle everything they did could be explained with sleight of hand, mirrors.
yeah,
Uh, don't play around with there being actual magic.
yeah, yeah. Which they did in many scenes. Yeah. What was I gonna? I was gonna say something. Oh, they could have like I think the movie you had in your head was kind of like The Sting.
Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, they're just trying to like get back what was taken from them,
Yeah, yeah,
which also gets around the problem you often have with movies about thieves, which is, well, why do I care about some thief?
yeah. Well, yeah, you have to have an antagonist or an enemy that's even worse. Yeah,
Exactly. And Michael Caine could have been a fun, stuffy British millionaire,
yeah,
but I think I think the fundamental problem is that the movie that I kind of dreamed up and that style of movie would have required much more detailed writing and much more smart writing.
hmm
Which we saw we saw Kurtzman's Mummy. We've seen was he actually the screenwriter for that last Star Trek movie we reviewed?
He not in that one, no, but he wrote the first two.
Yeah, so it's definitely in his style of keep things moving, don't pause to breathe. People having time to think about things or ask questions is just begging for people to drop out of your story because it's fundamentally stupid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And oddly enough, the probably the best movie that he worked on, I think you mentioned it was The Island,
Right.
and even that movie he ripped it off.
He lost a lawsuit. They collectively lost a lawsuit for ripping off parts of the Clonus horror.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. But yeah, I can't say I recommend this movie. I,
No. At the same time, I can kind of see where you'd be able to get to three of these things, because if I'm somebody who just wants to see some visual spectacle and I'm not overly bothered about the plot entirely hanging together, I could see somebody having a good time with this.
mhm.
I just think you can do better for mindless spectacle.
Yeah, I think so too. I would also say if you're interested in movies about a movie about magicians, uh, The Prestige is much better. I would recommend that movie over this one.
Yeah, I haven't ever seen it, but it kind of sounds like exactly what I was expecting from this movie in terms of the tricks being explicable and there
Yeah,
being internal logic.
yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, well, if any of you are curious to watch it, it's on Netflix. But but I think we've said all we need to say for tonight.
Indeed. So I think that in terms of what we recommend that we actually did here, we don't recommend Now You See Me, so don't Now You See That. We do recommend The Day the Earth Blew Up on
Yes.
HBO Max. And we do recommend Antz over on Netflix with the caveat of warning contains late 90s animation or CGI
Yes.
animation
Yeah.
and some naughty language.
Yes. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it as always. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, ring the bell, buy some books. Links for those are in the description down below. And we'll see you next week. Night, everybody.
Good night.